We're going to kick off Marshall County Football Media Day today with the Boaz Pirates and Coach Jeremy Sullivan. Coach, if you would let the guys introduce themselves, or you introduce them and make some opening comments today to kick us off.
Y'all can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Jacob Gray, Tyler Pierce,
Tyler Osborne.
Jacob's a senior. He plays running back and linebacker for us. Tyler Pierce is our quarterback, and Tyler Osborne plays inside linebacker. We only brought 2 of our 3 Tylers today. We're down to 3. We did have 5 a couple years ago. I guess everybody decided to name their kid Tyler in the same year, including me, because one of them's my son. We kind of finished up summer yesterday. We had a 7-on-7 at Fort Payne. We did an 11-on-11 with Buckhorn this week. We've been in a couple other competitions this summer. We came to one here at Sand Mountain Park. I can't even remember, maybe a couple of weeks ago. It was the week before Dead Week. And then we went to Gadsden City, and then we hosted an 7-on-7 at our place. So we've had a bunch of competitions this summer. Kids have done a good job of competing. They've worked hard to get better. We've had good attendance all summer. We got a lot of things going on right now as far as facilities-wise with our field house and stuff that we're trying to get finished up before school starts. That's been kind of a process this summer, but we, kids have done a good job. We've had good attendance. We've got about the same number we always have in the 60s that are participating. So we're looking forward to getting it started.
Coach, could you tell us, my couple of questions, how many starters come back, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and what do you think will be the strengths of this year's Boaz football team?
And I meant to add that up before I came, because you always ask that, and I always had to think about it. But I know on offense we have back 8 starters. We also have back 2 kids that played significant roles for us last year. So we lost 2 offensive linemen, but we have one back that is that played because of injury. He ended up starting 3 or 4 games for us last year. So really we feel like we got 4 guys up front who have enough game experience. We consider them returners. And then our backup running back, we roll through at running back. We play a lot of 2 running back sets. So we have a running back. We have 2 running backs that played a lot last year. Actually, 3 that played a lot last year. Our main significant loss was a receiver, Gavin Smart, who had a bunch of catches, a bunch of yards. It was kind of the focal point of our offense last year. But offensively, we started 8 sophomores, and at times 9, and at times we had, every kid we had out there was either a sophomore or a freshman last year. So we got most of our experience back on offense. We feel good about that. It was tough at times, especially early last year, especially up front. But we feel like that's going to pay off for us this year because of the increased game experience and, those kids having a year to mature, get bigger and stronger. Defensively, we're returning, I think, 5 starters on defense, and some of them are playing in different places. So like last year, Jacob played safety for us, and this year we moved him down to an outside linebacker type position. Tyler Osborne played outside linebacker. We moved him to inside linebacker. So we've kind of had to do some moving around. We've really worked hard this summer to trying to find the right combination of guys in the secondary. That's one reason we did all our 7-on-7 stuff that we did. And we feel like we're on a good path for that. Linebacker-wise, we're still searching for one more inside linebacker. We kind of feel like that's a place where we still need to solidify that position. But everywhere else, we feel pretty good about it. Defensive line, we got back 2 guys that pretty much started for us last year. We rolled them guys so much. I'm not sure if I can't even remember if they were the starters or if they were the next guy in, but they played at least half the snaps last year. And then we've added a kid who played Y for us last year, which is like a tight end receiver position in our offense, and he's going to start at defensive end. So we feel pretty good, especially on offense with the experience we have coming back. We hope that the offensive line and, our having our quarterback returning is really going to be a strength for us this year. We think that, our running backs, we feel like we have 4 running backs that could be starters. So we're hoping that the run game can be good for us and help us open up things in the passing game. Weakness-wise, I think we're just kind of inexperienced at our position on defense, and it's just something we just got to keep working on and keep working to get better at.
Well, Coach Sullivan, last year at this time, y'all were opening a new stadium, and there's a lot of distractions because I remember you talking about it a lot. Do you feel a lot better? You think the kids are more focused because now all that's behind them and there's a lot less distractions maybe going into this year?
Yeah, I think so. I felt like we were pretty focused on the football part of it last year. Kids are pretty, resilient, I guess. As long as we got Powerades and protein drinks for them after practice, that's all they really care about. Got somewhere they can maybe get an air conditioner for a minute. I really appreciate all the work that was done on that facility. We got the turf down and it looks great, and all the work they did around it, to make things look better is, I think it's one of the better places I've ever had the privilege of coaching at. And, our kids are really excited about what we have and everything that our school board and community, gives us as a chance to be successful. So, we can't really worry about that stuff. We just got to focus on the football part of it and what we need to do to improve and to win games.
I want to ask this question to the guys, the players. Guys, this summer, coaches talked about you guys going out and working 7-on-7 and OTAs 11-on-11. Each one of you kind of comment, how do y'all think the team is coming together with the work this summer? Because that has a lot to do with what's going to happen here in a couple of weeks when you kick off against Jacksonville.
I think it's coming together pretty well. These really help with learning and experiences and stuff and bringing us together.
Yeah, like Jacob said, we've just been competing and getting better every day, and it's definitely going to pay off.
We've already faced a little bit of adversity in 7-on-7s and stuff this year, so I felt like we responded pretty well to that, especially yesterday. So I felt like that was an important moment for us, learning how we were going to respond to those situations already.
That's a good answer, Tyler.
So for the players and even you, Coach, what are you guys expecting out of the season? Is there like a level of expectations? Obviously, you've made the playoffs. I think it's 5 straight years, but you've lost in the first round. Is there something you guys are expecting this year?
I go into every season expecting to win every game. I go into every game expecting to win that game. I'm not young enough or stupid enough to predict our record, but what I want us to do is be as prepared as we can for every opponent that we face, to try to give our kids, as coaches, give our kids the best chance we can to be successful. For our kids to become the best football player that they can become individually, and for our team to become the best team it can become by the end of the season. Now, where that ends up being as far as playoffs and, region and all that stuff, it's hard for me to tell because I don't know how good everybody else is going to be. I don't know how we match up personnel-wise. But I want to give our kids every chance to be successful. And I don't mean to try to avoid your question, but I don't really think in terms of, 8-2 or 15-0 or whatever. I think in terms of trying to get the most out of this football team, squeeze every bit out of this talent that we can, and, to do everything we can to give our kids a chance to be successful as coaches, and for our kids to improve as much as they can individually and as a team as the season progresses. Now, obviously, personally, I got a lot fewer years in front of me than I do behind me, so it's become a little more of feels like the time's ticking away on me, so I would really like to move us to the next level of, not just getting to the playoffs, but being a team that's successful in the playoffs.
What do you think is going to be the most important thing for you to focus on to kind of keep the momentum going from the end of last season?
I really think that the off-season program in the summer was really important in that, and I think it is every year. And I think that's something we really tried to, we had a much better end of the season than we did beginning of the season last year. And I think a lot of that had to do with the growth of the young players as they got better as the season progressed. And I think that rolling into the off season, we really tried to, push those kids to get bigger and stronger. We have a nutrition lady that the school system has contracted to give us advice about nutrition, and we got our kids with her so we could help them get bigger and stronger. We brought in a new strength conditioning coach to help us improve in the weight room. So that was some things that we felt like we needed to keep rolling to keep those kids on that track of improvement. And then this summer, some of the things we talked about earlier with making sure we had the right people in the right places in the secondary, because I felt like that hurt us, especially in a couple of games early in the season last year. And it was, all my fault because, we got a kid injured who thought was going to be a starter, and I didn't have a guy ready to go behind him that was the same level as he was. And then, I think going into this season, our kids are going to have a little more confidence because they've played through a season as starters, especially offensively. And, they know that they can compete. They know that they can, have a chance to win any game we're in. And, we just have to keep building on that success from last year.
Coach, I'd like to know who you kind of see as the leaders, the teams to beat both in the region and the county. Region, I think Guntersville's going to be really good. Coach Reese always does a great job there. He's been doing this stuff a long time. I just have so much respect for what he does with his program and with his players. And then Arab, had a great year last year. Coach Osment, does a great job over there. And, I think that it's going to be, I think both of those teams are really good. I got to know Coach Bell last year and Scottsboro, and, the things they do on offense make it really tough to defend because you only see it once a year. And Coach Bell knows that stuff inside and out, and he does a really good job of finding your weakness and trying to take advantage of it. So those three teams were the top of our region last year. Douglas is much improved from where they were, 2 or 3 years ago. Coach Lyles has come in there and really put a new excitement and a new type of pride in that program. So I think they'll be a contender. And, we're down to a 6-team region because of Crossville and their situation with having to drop varsity football. So, Sardis has got a new coach. I know they got some talented players, some of those same kids that were on the baseball team that played for the state championship. So I think it's going to be a very competitive region. It's going to be really tough to win that thing. As far as county-wise goes, I guess the only other school we play in the county is Albertville. And, that's a big rivalry game that obviously – it's always going to be very competitive and tough. It don't really matter what the records are going into that game or what they end up at the end of the season. That's, over the last 3 or 4 years, that's been a 1 score, maybe 2 score game that's been very competitive and come right down to the end. So we would like, obviously, always to wind up on top of that thing.
Guys, let me ask you a question for your portion of the media days over. Coach selected you today. Obviously, you're leaders of the football team. What does it mean to you as athlete at Boaz to be selected by the coach to represent your team, your school, your town? What does that mean to you to be at media day today?
I think it's a good feeling because it shows that he's noticing the work we've been putting in over the summer.
It's very special because he selected us individually, and we've been working hard, and he trusts us to come up here and do what we need to do.
It is really special. It takes a lot of discipline to make the right choices and to be a leader of the folks around you. So for it to be noticed by your coaches, it's pretty special.
I want to chime in on that. So it's really hard for me every year to decide who's coming with me, because one of the things that we do have at Boaz is I think is really special is the quality of kids that we get to coach every day. So it's always a hard choice to make, but all three of these kids, they all have different stories and kind of the way that they've progressed in their career and the playing time that they received. And, I could tell stories about each one of them. But they're all leaders on our team, and they're, leaders in our school, and, they are what you hope as a high school football coach that you get to work with. And we have a lot of those kids. We can only bring a few, so they're the ones that came today, but I had a lot of other choices that I could have made, and I appreciate them coming. And I know this is nerve-wracking for them, so I appreciate them stepping outside their comfort zone and helping me out with this.
Coach, thanks a lot. Thanks, guys, for coming today. Good luck against Jacksonville, opening up on the 25th, I believe, of August.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us. And, one other thing. We did find a replacement for Crossville. We'll be playing Cleburne County at Cleburne County.
That'll be on October 6th, right?
No, sir. The September date.
Okay,
whatever that September date
the
is.
Crossville date, the 15th. Okay.
Yes, sir. It'll be replacing Crossville at Cleburne County. That just happened this week, and I don't think I've told any of y'all about it.
Okay.
But we appreciate y'all having us. I appreciate y'all doing this event. It's great for high school football in this area, and I hope to continue to see it grow.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach. We appreciate it, guys.